Hi Stampers, it's Shannon and I am here with another fun week of our 12 weeks of Sizzlen Christmas. We are on the last few weeks, so we're winding down. And this week I am featuring a really fun, I think fun project, and you can use this. It's a great stocking stuffer. It's a great little gift for neighbors or coworkers. But it is also one that you can tweak and use for birthdays or any other time that you need a small little gift. So, to start with, I'm going to show you, well, I've laid it here and there it is, what we're going to be using and making. So, first off, we are starting with the Trees for Sale stamp set. This is a super cute stamp set. You'll possibly recall that it was one of the early Christmas ones that I showcased this summer during and fall when we had celebration. It had the cute Glamper Camper dies with it. So if you got those dies, you are one of the fortunate few, and don't give those up. But you can accent this piece with them. Today, however, this set is super cute all on its own, so don't worry if you do not yet have those dies. Now, I've kind of showcased, I have a glue dot on that ink pad. These are probably the key inks that we're using today: Soft Succulent, Garden Green, and Evening Evergreen, and we'll probably use that good old standby black Memento ink pad that's tuxedo black. So we're going to start with those, and we are going to be using some of the Poinsettia Boughs of Holly paper. This is one of my favorite pieces of the Designer Series paper, or DSP paper pack, and it is full of this beautiful evergreen or pine style trees in multiple shades of green. What's not to like about that? All right, so what we are going to be doing is I'm going to set my little stamp set aside and let me show you what fun thing that we are going to insert into our special Designer Series paper pouch, gift pouch. And it is one of these cute mug treat cake mixes. This one happens to be chocolate cake, and this particular one comes with a bonus little pouch of a topping. I'm hoping that's going to be chocolate fudge, because that would be terrific. These are really great. I love these for coworkers because, and in fact, if anyone on my team is watching, don't watch, because this is going to be what I'm doing in 2023 for my coworkers' birthdays. I'm going to pre-make these up, the little mug treat cake mixes. This one is chocolate cake, but they have chocolate chip cookie dough flavor. They have a birthday cake, confetti cake. That's the one that I'm hoping to do for my coworkers. But I think it's a fun way that you can use this for any time of the year. And that's one of the reasons I chose this particular paper. It's not super classic Christmas, so it's great for any of those winter birthdays, holidays, whatever you want to celebrate. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, if you are celebrating the winter solstice, if you're celebrating New Year's and want a little favor to give to your party guests, this might just be it. And then at midnight, after you've celebrated with a toast, or maybe before, you guys, each person can microwave and make their own individual mug cake. So, mug with a G, not mud. Mug cake. So, let me tell you how I came to design this. This is how I work out pouches and or box things. This is the item that I want to create packaging for. I measure the item. Okay, so for this particular one, I'm looking for my ruler. Okay. So I know that this pouch is about 4 1/4 inches wide. So I always make it 1/4 inch wider. And for this, I know that I need to have it at least double the length. And because this has some body to it, some width right here, I need to add a little bit extra. So this particular piece is 4 1/2 by 12. And then how I determine where my score lines are going to be, you guys, this is the craziest thing ever. I lay my pouch, so hopefully you can see this. I lay my pouch on my paper and I say, well, I don't want it quite exactly up to the top. And I look and I'm like making the perfect bend. Oh, that's where that's going to be. And guess what? When you lay that in to the next side so that it's going to come up, you almost have 3/4 to an inch of a pouch in between there. I will go ahead and put my measurements up, and I apologize in advance. But look, I'll have my hubby who edits my videos. I will have him add them on a little text box for you, so that text will be popping up over this. So we've got those measurements, and I want to show you that because that's how I come up with things. It's very simple. Now, this particular pouch, the paper is directional, so you need to think about that. If you have a patterned paper that is definitely directional, like this is the top, clearly. The bottoms of the trees, the tops of the trees. So that means when I'm folding this, I want to make sure, see, if this is the front, the trees are upside down. Also, we don't want to cut it to where our trees were going sideways. So you have to pay attention to that when you make your cut on your paper. Then all we're going to do is we are going to use, now, you could use the standard little glue dots that we sell at Stampin' Up. But I'm going to tell you, I do use a different product because Stampin' Up does not have this. If we had it, I would use it. But this is a large, a very fat, large, and these are considered extra strength, extra duty glue dots. And they are, a lot of times you can find them the same locations where you are looking to create balloon arches. They are often used with balloon centerpieces and balloon arches. So I'm going to put 5 of them, and you can see they are super sticky. Okay, so I've put 5 on there. If you want to use the double-sided tear tape, it will probably work okay. The thing for me is this packet is not super flat. And it's also not the same thickness from top to bottom when you put it in, even if you try to get your cake layered out. That's why I like the glue dots. Okay, so now it's simply about placing the pouch, centering it in the space that's allotted. Oops. Oh, okay. And see, that's the other thing, the glue dot will allow you, because you want to think about it like this. I want the pouch to stand in that 3/4 inch space. And I'm going to bring the back up, and I'm going to bring the front up, okay? So it's not that it's totally filling that whole little space, but you need to have some of that there, okay? Now, the next thing we are going to do is add our stamped pieces. So for this, we've got, I'm just doing some layering pieces of white on Evening Evergreen. This is 2.5 by 4.5, I believe. And this one is 1/4 larger, so 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. So that's going to be where we're going to, so we've got our little pouch started. We're going to add more. So we're going to bring in our little photopolymer trees, and this is what's great about these trees. You have the pieces that are the outliney part, and you have the pieces that are the solids. Now, the trees on my paper virtually are all outlines, and so that is going to steer me to choose to use those 3 particular stamps. So I'm going to set that aside just for a moment. I'm going to come back here, and we are going to start with our lightest tree first, and I'm going to do it in the largest tree, lightest color, and I'm going to use soft succulent for that. So we'll just ink him up. And we're just going to randomly stamp him. And again, I could stamp him off. He could have different gradients, whatever, okay? There's no right or wrong with these trees. You're just creating a forest, and a forest of trees, there is no right or wrong on those. They simply exist however they grow. So however you stamp them is going to be how your trees grow. The next size, medium, is going to be with our medium green ink, which is going to be garden green. Now, because I started strong over on this side, I'm starting with my strong color on the opposite side. And again, I'm going to stamp off. You're going to see that. I'm going to come up there and do a little bit. I'm going to come down there and do a little bit. I'm even maybe going to do a tiny speck like that, okay? I'm going to take that, stamp off. Now we're coming to our smallest tree with our darkest ink. There is a reason that I choose to do the light on the large stamp, and you're going to see a little bit more why in a moment. So again, we've got, oops. Okay, I need to. Okay, so now we're going to have a little, there we go. Because the evening evergreen is super dark. Okay, and if you see any little holes, you may want to fill them in. Don't get too wacky about all the holes being filled though, because why do you think? You guys know it. We have to put some sentiment in. And that is why I like to use the biggest tree in the lightest color. It's going to cover the vast part of that white paper, but with the lightest shade, that makes it easier for me to go directly over with my ink. For example, if I had done all the big tree and evening evergreen, we would leave hardly anything for us to stamp our sentiment on. All right, now, and if you did it wrong or you stamped and you went, oh my gosh, where am I putting my sentiment? You can just merely create a layered piece. For this one, I wanted it to, I wanted just to keep it kind of simple. And so I wanted to put my sentiment, all the stamping is going to be right directly to the base. So we're going to put this right across here. And you might be like, why didn't I put that there? Well, because I've got one more stamp from this set. And we are going to put just a little pop of color, poppy red, to our front. So there is no red anywhere else, but we're going to put it just right there. Trees for sale. And, you know, if we want that to look like it's part of the designer series paper, maybe it's going to happen to be on there in a few spots. So you can create kind of that whimsical look. Okay, so that's the simplified version. Now, so I'll leave that again. Let me show you what I meant when I said if you forgot, you could easily make a label. So if you did it wrong or you didn't think about it ahead, because that's often my crafting, is I may just not have thought about it ahead of time. So if that's how you happen to end up, you can take, if only I had my white. We'll use the soft succulent. You take a little piece of one of the same colors. So I'm going to use the soft succulent. And I'm just going to stamp directly to my soft succulent. And you're going to see me just scissor cut that out. Okay. I had another class tonight before I am doing this video. I was like, I know I used my scissors for that class. So the very easy thing is to just cut this into a rectangle. You can cut around the lettering if you want to make it kind of fit the font, so to speak. You could punch it out of a label. It's whatever you want. It's your creation. I just hope that I feel like my job, my goal is just to kind of be your creativity coach, to help you really spark ideas and you to come up with your own take on it. Okay, so we could add that like so. Now, if we're going to step that up, then we need to really step that up. So I want to have a little bit of ribbon or some embellishment. So I'm going to use some of our linen thread. And it's very curly because it comes wrapped around this little spool. And that does not always bode well for my fingers. Okay. So we've got a little nifty twine bow. And when you're ready to make it straight, when you've got your loops sized how you want, pull the two, hold your thumb and finger at the knot and pull the tails down. And that will kind of help ensure that you get a great length. Now we're going to use our standard Stampin' Up! Glue dots because they are terrific. I'm just going to put my little linen thread bow on a dot, pull the dot off, and I'm just going to hang it somewhere. Yeah, maybe it's going to come down here. Yeah, we're going to play with it because we're going to put that up on dots. So set that for aside for a moment and let's put our little label up on some dimensionals. Dimensionals are one of the most wonderful, inexpensive items that you can have in your craft stash. They instantly, so see, there's the plain look. Here is, you saw it flat. Now we're going to give it this raised finish. And the great thing about having the raised finish is because now I can put my little bow right there at the corner and it looks very festive. And wait till you see what happens when we go ahead and mount the entire thing on the back, the backing of the Evening Evergreen. Everything really just comes together and it's going to have a really beautiful holiday pop if I can get mine aligned evenly. Okay. Take two on lining up our paper. Alright, now we're coming back to our pouch. We've got just a couple more steps on it. So the next step is we want to create a ribbon hole. And to do that, I'm just going to use the 1/8 hole punch. And I didn't get them even at all. But it usually doesn't overly matter. Now I'm going to bring in the beautiful Evening Evergreen window pane ribbon. And if you cut it at an angle so you have a sharp point, you start on the front right and thread all the way through. And if you can't do it together, you just open it like so. Okay, and the other thing I want you to do before we do that, I neglected to tell you, is we're going to want to put at least 2 or 3 more glue dots on the front of the pouch, because you want to make sure that once you are done putting everything together, that the pouch itself stays closed nice and neatly. So to do that, you're going to want to run that ribbon through. That's why I personally like to have it all closed up nice and tidy, and run my ribbon through both holes at the same time. However, sometimes, depending on what ribbon or embellishment or twine you're choosing, some are easier to work with than others. I like using the 1/8 hole punch because it keeps it very neat and tidy. It doesn't allow for a lot of extra hole space showing after you get your ribbon through. Okay, so we've got a ribbon. Again, like I said, this isn't going to matter that I didn't get them perfect, because this is a wide enough ribbon. It works. And then you're just going to do a square knot, or you can do a bow, whatever you feel like. I really like the square knot for the moment because I've got the bow in the linen. Now we're going to just take our seal and we're going to pop this on. And I'm going to have it go not perfectly centered. You can have it perfectly centered, but I'm choosing not to. All right, and there you go. How super cute is that? I'm going to trim my ends just a little bit. So I've trimmed my ribbon and we've got it all put together. We've attached our front piece to it just with some seal. We've got it all ready to go, and it is super cute, ready to deliver. Perfectly packaged to stun everyone and make them say, wow, and you did it all without a lot of work. That's the best type of holiday giving. You've got it comes straight from your heart, and it didn't take just a ton of your time. But what better way to say, I care about you, I'm thinking about you during the holiday season. You guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Share the video and ask your friends and family to subscribe too, because don't forget, I've got this small little goal of getting 75 subscribers. When I hit that goal, those of you who've helped share and tag and have people join and subscribe to the channel will all be entered in for a chance, and one lucky winner will win $75 of free Stampin' Up! Product. All right, we'll see you guys next time. We've got just a little bit of time left in the Sizzlen Christmas. Bye-bye.